Here in 4.2, we are working with matrices again, and we are going to be adding them, subtracting them, and we're talking about something called scalar multiplication, all right? So this is not too difficult if you know kind of the basic rules here. The basic rules is simply that when you are adding and subtracting matrices, the dimensions must be the same. All right, the dimensions must be the same when you are adding or subtracting. That has to be true, all right? So if we look at A we know has 2 rows and 3 columns, so it is a 2 by 3 matrix. And we know that B has 2 rows and 3 columns, so it is also a 2 by 3 matrix. That means that I could add or subtract these if I wanted. C, however, is a 2 by 2 matrix because it has 2 rows and 2 columns. So I would not be allowed to add B and C. They would not add together. All right, same thing, A and C would not add together. I could only add or subtract A and B. So what you're gonna see is you're gonna see things like take A minus B. All right, so they're gonna ask you to take A minus B. Now, if I wanna do this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write matrix A, so that's -3, 15, 40, 22, 0, -13. And I'm gonna subtract matrix B. B is 11, -15, 28, -14, 7, -9. All right. You know what, actually, let's do an addition problem first. I'm gonna change this to A plus B. So I'm gonna put a plus symbol in between. All right, so we're actually gonna change that. So hopefully you were listening and not just watching, because we're changing that to a plus there. So when I'm adding these, all you have to do is add the elements that are in the same relative position. So if I look at -3 and 11, they're both in the first row and the first column. So my result, -3 plus 11, is 8. That is all you have to do. You just have to add the elements that are in the same relative position. So now I've got this 15 and a -15. Well, 15 minus 15 is just 0. So that's the next element, 0. And you're going to go all the way through. 40 plus 28 is 68. And 22 plus -14 is +8. And 0 plus 7 is 7. And -13 minus 9 is -22. And there you go. This would be your answer. All right, all you have to do is add those common elements, and that's going to give you the total there. So we could do another example. Let's do something like A minus B. Well, for A minus B, I just subtract all of these elements. So if I take, let's write this out again, -3, 15, 40, 22, 0, -13. And then we're going to subtract 11, -15, 28, -14, 7, -9. So if I'm subtracting, again, I'm just combining those common elements. So if I have a -3 and an 11, I just have to be careful because I am subtracting, right? So -3 minus 11 is -14. -14 for that one. All right, and I kind of keep going across, right? So we're going to look and we see that we have 15 minus -15. So minus and negative is really a plus. So 15 plus 15 is going to give me 30. All right, so we get to 30 there. So just be really careful with the double negatives that might occur when you're subtracting. So now we have 40 minus 28. Well, 40 minus 28 is 12. And 22 minus -14, minus a negative is really a plus. So 22 plus 14 is 36. And then 0 minus 7, that's -7. -13 minus -9, well, minus a -9 is like a +9. -13 plus 9 is -4, so this would be your answer here. All right, so one last thing to do is talk about something called scalars, all right? So scalars a multiplication, and you're gonna be multiplying one of your matrices by whatever number's in front of in front of the letter. So for example, let's say they asked me to figure out 3c. Well, 3c, this just means that I'm going to take 3 and multiply 3 by every element of matrix C. Right now we know matrix C is these values here, so I'm going to copy paste these down here. We've got -3, 4, -35, and -10. So all I have to do to find 3c is simply, it's almost like distributing, right? I'm taking this 3 and multiplying it by every single item, every single element in this matrix. So this would just be -9, right? Because 3 times -3 is -9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times -35 is -105. And 3 times -10 is -30. So this right here would be the value of 3c. All right, so what they might do is they might kind of put this all together and they might ask you for something like this. All right, they might say solve for x in the equation x plus 3a equals 2b. All right, and now we're going to use the matrices that we already have. So we know what A is, right? We know that A is this matrix here, and then we know B is that matrix there. All right, so we're going to take those matrices, and all we're doing is we're going to do exactly what it says, right? X is some matrix, right? This is a capital X. So we're looking for some matrix so that when I add 3A, I get 2B. So we're going to say X plus 3 times A. So we're going to take matrix A, and we're going to put in those values, -3, 15, 40. 22, 0, -13. And then that's going to equal 2 times my matrix B. And we know that matrix B is 11, -15, 28, -14, 7, -9. All right, those are my values for A and B that we were given, okay? So now I have to go ahead and solve this, right? I know that matrix X plus time to multiply everything here by that 3, right? It gets distributed to every single piece of that matrix. So X plus -9, 45, 120, 66, 0, -39 equals, and now we have to multiply everything here by 2. This is going to be 22, -30, 56, -28, 14, -18. So now, if I want to figure out what X is, I basically have to subtract this whole matrix on both sides. Right, I'm subtracting. So I'm subtracting a -9, I'm subtracting 45, subtracting 120, subtracting 66, subtracting 0, subtracting -39. So if I subtract these, we end up with X is equal to my final solution. So we're going to copy paste this. All right, so again, just be careful with your double negatives here, because you're going to see it quite often. So we're going to start by taking, let's do some colors here. We got 22, and again, we're subtracting a -9. We have to be careful about that, subtracting a negative. So 22 minus -9 is like 22 plus 9. So this should give me a first value here of 31. And then I'm going to kind of keep going down the line. So -30 minus 45 is -75. And then we've got 56 minus 120. And again, when we're doing this, remember, everything is staying in that same element position, right? So if I'm in the top right corner of my matrix here, and the top right corner of my matrix here, my answer has to go in the top right corner of my resulting matrix, all right? Your resulting matrix always has the same dimensions as the matrix that you're adding and subtracting. So if we take 56 minus 120, we should get -64. And then we're going to go ahead and, oops, let me fix that, -64. Now we have -28 minus 66. And -28 minus 66 is -94. We have 14 minus 0, which is just 14. And then we have -18 minus -39. So -18 plus 39 is going to give us 21 altogether. All right, this would be the matrix that you are looking for. All right, so you're going to see some problems like this. When you're asked to solve for x, you're just looking for that matrix that would make this a true